One of the biggest problems with life is that it's built upon evil. For life to be able to sustain itself, very evil things have to happen. If these evil things didn't happen, life wouldn't be able to sustain itself. So the question is, if life cannot sustain itself without evil things happening, is it okay to allow these evil things to happen so that life will sustain itself? Some people believe that slaves built the pyramids. If you believe that it's okay to own another human, make them work for you, do the things that they do not want to do. If you believe that it is okay, you are a hypocrite. I think as a collective, we can all agree that there is something about that is not right. We can feel it deep inside that, I don't know. So let's say the only way to build the pyramids, and pyramids were important, there had to be people who were forced to do things that they do not want to do, things that some people are not comfortable doing, because it takes a lot of work to actually build a pyramid. Is it okay that we allow slavery to continue so that pyramids will be built? Because pyramids are important. Let's say without the pyramids, maybe life on Earth wouldn't even exist. Let's say the pyramids were more important than we think. Would we be honest with ourselves if we said, well, slavery is okay? The reason why we say slavery is okay is because of the pyramids. Look at what slavery produced. Is it okay to do something evil for what you consider to be the greater good? What I've realized about life is that everything is predicated upon something evil, right? Something that people will agree is not good. Everything. People are born without their consent. You can say, but there was no other way for people to be born. But that's the point that I'm trying to make. As conscious beings, we all agree as a collective that we can't force people to do things that they didn't agree that they want to do. And in life, there's a lot that is expected. Like, even if you decided that you do nothing, you're just gonna breathe, you're gonna get hungry, you're gonna have to go and pee, you're gonna have to eat, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna have to kind of exercise, because you can't just sleep all day and do nothing. Like, there's a lot that you have to do after you're born, and you have to do these things. So clearly it makes sense to say it's unethical to create new life because of the responsibilities that life comes with. if a person cannot consent, if a person cannot say, yeah, let me have this experience, I want this, you know what I mean? So a lot of things have to happen in this world without people's consent. People have to work with what they have. You don't have real free will. You have something that seems like free will, but it's not. It's not even free will. It just seems like free will. You can say, wow, you chose to record a video. That's free will. You can choose what to say. That is free will. You can touch your nose. That is free will. Do I understand how my thoughts are formed? Do I even know what thoughts are? Do I even know how to pose thoughts? Like, I don't want to think, period. I do not want to think. Can I choose the thoughts that I want to think? Can I choose what to remember? Sometimes we make decisions based on the options that we have. There's this quote. This quote hit hard actually. I came across this quote on TikTok a few weeks back. Someone said, said something like, people want to judge me for the decisions that I made without knowing the choices that I had. I don't know if I put it right. Let's say you decide to do something, but you didn't really have options. And I don't even mean options in life itself, but I mean you couldn't think of other options. It felt to you at that time that you only had 2 options, but you had more than 10 options, but it didn't register in your mind that it's possible for you to have more options. You can think of other options that like it just didn't happen. You just didn't remember. You remembered that you had more options after you made the decision. To say you have free will, it means you have to know everything and not forget anything. Know where your thoughts come from, how your thoughts are formed. Have the power to choose your own thoughts, not to only work with what your thoughts are giving you. So what we have is not even free will. We live in a world where there are a lot of people who are in pain and we do not even talk about it. People were born where they were born, and life has never really given them a break. They just suffer, they've just been suffering, and some people, it seems like life favored them. Things seem to work out for them. They seem to have a lot of options in life. Like they can actually do anything, really. Born in a good family, having all the advantages, having the talent, having the charisma, the confidence, all these things. You find that it's like these people can do whatever they want. And some people are just supposed to be losers. This reminds me of a quote from my favorite TV series, Atlanta. So Aaron, one of my favorite characters, He said, are some of us born to lose? Like, we are only here for the winners to be able to win. Because if everyone was a winner, then there would be no winner, right? So, are some of us just born to lose? Like, that's what it's all about. There are some people who really feel that way because of how they have experienced life. People suffer a lot, and to suffer really is to experience what you do not want to experience. So people find themselves experiencing what they do not want to experience a lot, not because of making bad decisions, not because they are bad people, not because they've sinned before they came into this world, but because life itself is wrong, and that's the problem. Everything is built upon something evil. Life itself is built upon evil. So we could never live in a world where there is no suffering, where everything was okay. There was nothing negative to say about life, about existence. For the world to exist, evil things must happen. So the question is it okay if evil things have to happen for something that we consider to be good? There's this episode that I watched last year. It's a Rick and Morty episode. It's about capitalism, how people stop caring about morality if they can benefit more from being immoral. So in this episode, there were people who lived in this planet. When they died by suicide, they would turn into spaghetti. And people in the universe liked that spaghetti, but they didn't know where the spaghetti was coming from. So if you die from a car accident, you don't produce a spaghetti. If you get sick and you die, you don't. But if you die in the way that I mentioned, then you produce the spaghetti. So after Morty found out, Rick was like one of the few people in the universe that actually knew how the spaghetti was produced, but he didn't have a problem. He's Rick. But Morty, when Morty found out, he didn't like that, so he wanted to tell the truth to everyone. He told his family, and they couldn't eat it anymore because they were mad. They were even mad at Morty for ruining everything because he told them the truth. So they would have preferred eating that spaghetti if they didn't know how that spaghetti was created. It got to a point where the leaders of that planet, because they were making a lot of money, were like, yeah, what if we legalized assisted suicide? It got to a point where they wanted people to end themselves so that they can produce spaghetti, and they needed to figure out. That's how things are in the world. Where we don't care about morality, like we don't focus on building upon truth, upon fairness. We care more about the results. And life itself is that way too. There's a reason why this world hates truth. It's because if we knew the truth about everything, we would be disgusted, right? Just like when the world realized how spaghetti was made in that episode that I was telling you about. There are a lot of bad things that happen for things to be the way that they are today. Some people will say all the horrible things that happened in the past, they were necessary because things are better now. The problem is, it's not like things are actually getting better. What is actually happening is that life is able to sustain itself. It doesn't mind producing evil to sustain itself. So things aren't really getting better. It's just that life is able to sustain itself better. You can say, in the past, it was allowed that a person can actually own a slave, treat that slave however they want to treat them. I think there was a time when slavery, slaves weren't protected by the law in any way. So you could do whatever you want with them. And you can say, yeah, so we have improved a lot of society because we don't allow anything like that. But when you pay close attention to how society works, you realize that, slavery actually took another form. Capitalism created a new form of slavery. Slavery is hidden under capitalism. It seems like people like the jobs that they have, even though humans don't want to sit and do nothing. When you look at the amount of work that people have to put in to get paid, and what they're getting paid is not even enough for most of the things that they want, while there are people who own everything, who it may seem as if they're not above the law, but they are, because they can get away with a lot. They can get the best lawyers if they committed a serious crime. If you committed crime, even if it's not a serious crime, if you don't have money, you won't be able to afford the best lawyer. Because to become the best lawyer, you also have to be connected. It's not just about you being able to make sense. Like if you are defending someone, you make a lot of sense. It's also about the connection. It's also because there are a lot of things that are done behind the scenes by lawyers to win the case, and some of these things are not good. You know, some of these things will make you not like them. They play mind games, they manipulate, they blackmail, like a lot of things. So people who are rich will be like, let me get the best lawyer. Or they'll be like, look, I've committed a crime, but I can give you this amount to not say anything, or to make the case work in my favor. This happens a lot where I live, that it's considered normal now. Like if someone rich did something wrong and you had to you opened a case for them, and you had a lawyer and they also had a lawyer, they will actually be able to pay your lawyer. to say you have to throw the case. This person is giving you 10K, I'll give you 50K to throw the case. It's not like this person really knows how the law works. You give them some BS explanation. You see, so there are people who are actually above the law. There are people who are making decisions for everyone. You think that you are free to make your own decisions, but now what you are only allowed to do is vote. You can't be like, you know what, I don't want to live in a country where this is not allowed or where this is allowed. I want that to change for me and some group of people, and maybe we'll go and live somewhere in the country at least, but we shouldn't be affected by this. No, it doesn't. There are laws that are put in place, and these laws are making things harder for the people themselves while benefiting the system, while benefiting life itself, right? Because if we're going to be honest about some laws, a lot of these systems that are controlling the world will literally collapse. If we were to respect people's autonomy, each and every person be like really autonomous, like no one can really control you. No one actually owns you, because now I know that they own me, right? I have a name, I have an ID, I'm South African. There are things that as a human I cannot do because I'm a human. I'm considered a human, so I must be governed by laws that govern humans. But that automatically turned me into a slave, right? I'm owned by this system. And you can say, yeah, but we should be owned for this to exist. But that's the whole point that I'm trying to make, that life itself is wrong. You are not actually autonomous, and you can't be allowed to be autonomous because the whole thing will collapse. If everyone was free, the whole thing will collapse. If people were truly free to be themselves. A lot of children who are suffering in hospitals, they have not done anything wrong, really. They were just born in poor families, so they can't get the help that they need. And society is in a pro-natalist society, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that as a society, if a kid has cancer, they do not get the best help that they can get. Almost as if they asked to be here. Especially in a pro-natalist society. In a society where to have a child, as a man, if you knock a woman up, she's the one that makes the choice whether she wants the baby or not. People do not sit down together and agree, maybe sign a form. Like if we wanted to live in a smart society, it should be like that. If I'm dating someone, it must be my responsibility and her responsibility to sign an agreement, right? We sign an agreement that, hey, if she ends up being pregnant, because things happen even if you're protecting yourself, I do not want to bring a child into this world, and it's two people that can bring a child into this world. So the decision shouldn't be the power to make the decision shouldn't lie on only one person. It should lie on both of us. She's a woman, I'm a man. Even if I do not carry the baby, but it's still my DNA. What if I don't want my DNA to continue? So can't we sign? And some women be like, no, that's wrong. But I want to show you something, because we also have to take responsibility as people. If we signed together, agreed that we'll take the risk of having sex, but if we conceived that no, we are terminating, it's an agreement that we both made, right? We've signed a contract that says that. That's good. But it can happen that you knock somebody out and they decide that they want to keep the baby. Now you have brought someone into this world that you yourself don't even understand, and that person didn't even consent to being born. And it's just, so it's what I'm saying, like, it's a pro-natalist society. So it favors bringing new life into this realm in a way that is not fair, right? It doesn't favor truth. So we don't make that decision in a way that is true and honest. In some countries, abortion is totally illegal, meaning that a woman is forced to carry a baby that she doesn't want. She's forced to carry a baby for 9 months, and that she doesn't even want, and she will also be forced to take care of that child. Because it's a pro-natalist society. You don't really get to choose what you want to learn as a kid when you go to school. You only learn what's being taught. So you don't choose how you want to program your own mind, what you want to feed your mind. They feed your mind for you without your consent. You don't really have a choice. As a kid, you're supposed to go to school. Your parents are going to beat you if you don't go to school, right? You might say, but that's good, it's for your future. But that's the thing, though. For this system to exist, a lot of things that are unfair have to be done to people. You can say, but it's just a child. Maybe children know what they really want. Maybe. Now, what I'm saying is very important. Maybe children know exactly what they really want. Maybe when we were young, we knew what we wanted. But because we have been brainwashed, it was allowed that we become brainwashed. It got to a point where we believe that this is how things should be. Because we were powerless. You see, as a kid, you're totally powerless. Even if you make a lot of sense, your parents still have more power than you. Physically, they are bigger than you. But also, the system won't allow you to be autonomous. You will have to listen to your parents. So if you don't want to go to school, you will have to go to school. They might not give you food because you said you don't want to go to school. You chose to take a different path. And in their own eyes, they're doing it for you. But are they doing it for you? Or they're doing it because of how they've been programmed themselves? And you might find that it doesn't really benefit you. That's why we live in a society where people are not even happy. Happiness is not even prioritized. So life seems to be working, and if you don't look at everything deeply, it may feel like it's all fair, right? The things that are happening in this realm are fair. that the things that are happening in this room can actually be justified, and they will make sense once they are truly explained. But there are a lot of horrible things that are happening in this room. The fact that you don't choose when you die. Society might think, yeah, that's evil, but is that really how we feel? Or it's because of how we've been programmed to think? Let's look at it as honestly as possible. Here's what is true about life. We all don't know what it is. That is what is true, right? I don't know what this is. No one can prove to me that they know what this is. So we found ourselves all year having this experience that we don't even understand. But what we do know is that everyone dies in the end. So then the question is, why is it wrong for a person to choose when that happens? This question needs to be answered while everything is being considered. We don't know what this is. We know that everyone is going to die. What is good about people not knowing when that happens? If a person is like happy, this person is 80, and they're like, look, I have experienced this. It had its ups and downs. I still don't know what it is, but what I do know is that I can be assisted to go to wherever I go next. As a society, we feel like that is wrong, but are we being honest? Is the intellectual honesty, or is it just emotions, or is it just how we've been programmed to see life? I remember I watched a video of this old lady. She was being interviewed because she signed up for assisted suicide. She seemed happy with her decision, and it didn't even seem like she's just depressed. She's not thinking right. You could see that it's her decision and it feels right to her. It's what she made peace with, and that's what she really wants. If we say, nah, she shouldn't be allowed, what are we protecting? And what is life to us? What is existence? What is autonomy? What is real freedom? How would it look like? If I say, continue to experience what you do not want to experience anymore, or what you feel you're tired of experiencing, or what you feel like you have experienced enough of, I must force you to experience it because I believe that it is wrong for you to stop experiencing it yourself. But how do we define autonomy, and is it important? Or we are trying to protect these systems? There are a lot of things that we don't even realize are wrong or evil, but that are very, like, more evil than like, if you don't think deeply, you won't even realize how evil these things are. It's like how people didn't realize how this spaghetti was being made on that planet. I want to ask you this question, and I would like you to tell me what you think in the comments. So let's say there was someone, we know that this world is full of cycles, right? Some people could just decide that they want to kill people, and it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to us, right? You think of someone like Jeffrey Dahmer. He used to kill people who have not done anything wrong to him, not because of he wants revenge or he's mad at these people or anything. Like, but he does that. We can't really fully understand why he does that. So let's just say someone like that came out and said, you know what, man, I don't like how I think or how I see people and what I feel I want to do to them. I don't like that. In order to protect everyone, can I be allowed to, can I sign up for assisted suicide? Because I don't like what society will be like, no, 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 no. But then if that person did something evil, the whole world will look at that person as if they're evil, and then that person will be punished. Some of these people will be given a death penalty. Oh, you're so evil, you're so evil. But the person did come out and say, this is how I am. I don't know how to deal with this. And it's not like society is going to help. It's not like society is going to be like, okay, we're going to pay money for you to get professional help. If there's something wrong with you, then they will find out. Like, no, it's all your responsibility. But if you mess up, I'm just trying to make you see that there are a lot of things that are wrong that we don't even realize are wrong. What we like to do is judge. So what I'm trying to show you is that life itself is built upon evil. And that's the real problem. The real problem is that life itself is wrong. So that's why we are unable to fix the problems that we have. This reminds me of a quote from this episode that I was telling you about. This episode of Rick and Morty. So after the whole world, not the whole world, after Rick told Morty the real truth, they decided to try to fix the problem by showing the whole world how spaghetti was made. So they showed the story of this guy, and then they showed how the spaghetti was made. And you'd see that it's a life full of struggle and suffering. There were good things that also happened, but now the people were able to connect with that person more. So they had to ask themselves if it makes sense to be eating a person who had their own story. So there's something that Rick said to Morty that stuck with me. He said, you might be asking yourself if this is a story about right and wrong. Truth is, I don't care. Life itself is wrong, and that means, he said, so that means death is right, but we can't side with that, so we eat. He said something like that. And you look at it and you're like, that's deep. It's a very weird episode. It's a dark episode. It's like the darkest Rick and Morty episode. Like, it's so damn dark. So I like the quote, especially when he said, life itself is wrong, but we can't side with that. And it's true. It's like we never truly want to admit to ourselves that there are a lot of things that have to happen for the world to be this. A lot is being produced from evil, basically, right? So evil things have to be done so that this world will exist as it is. What that meant to me, like when he said life itself is wrong, what it really means to me is this. A lot of the things that we say are evil, life permits these things, right? You look at the way nature works. You're like, a lot of things that as humans will say they are evil, nature doesn't have a problem with any of these things. We create religions and say, yeah, if a person does this, they do that, they are evil and all that. But it's like nature doesn't really care. Life itself doesn't care. It doesn't care how you live it. In fact, it doesn't give you rules. It doesn't give you instructions. It just builds you as you are and lets you be everyone's problem. It builds you as you like it. It's not like life will be like, yeah, it's trying to create something that's gonna bring peace in the world, or that's really gonna save the world. It's just, it builds a mess, and that will be everyone's mess basically. That will be everyone's mess to deal with. The fact that it is completely natural for a lion to see me and be like, that's food, that should tell you something. It shouldn't be a debate that the world itself is built upon evil. That the real, like life in its truest form is evil. What we try to do as humans is to make it look good. Is to try to hide the real truth from one another, from ourselves. And we say, we got it right. It's clear that this is wrong, it's clear that this is right. But we don't realize that right and wrong only matter if there is something that we consider to be good. That will be produced from doing something that is considered to be right. So we don't really care about right or wrong, because if right produces what we don't want it to produce, we're going to choose wrong and make it right. Does that make sense? Just like the episode that I was telling you about. Meaning that if slavery is making this world what we want it to be, then slavery is okay. We're never going to truly question slavery. You see, we're eating the meat that we're eating every day. The animals that have to die for us to, get this meat, and the way that they have to die, we don't even think about it. Vegans are considered to be weird. A vegan will tell you the real truth, but that's weird. Why? Because of how much we're benefiting from things working the way that they're working. You see, if we had to treat animals better than we're treating them, we had to make sure that they have, full, rich lives, and they get to experience happiness. Like, that will cost this company, these firms, a lot of money. A lot of money, and that will mean that we have to pay a lot for the meat that we eat, So the whole world is not going to be like, this, but then it's wrong the way that we're treating animals. We even get to a point where we convince ourselves that it isn't. We'll just say that it's just nature. But if that's the mentality that we're going to have, everything that is happening in nature, so it is nature. It's part of nature. So even though evil things that you think are evil, they are also part of nature. You see? So you can't just say it's just nature as if everything else is not nature. Right? The problem is we don't see our own imperfect, not even imperfect, like we don't see the damage that we cause ourselves. We are too quick to judge others for damage that they cause if it's more apparent that they are causing damage. But we also do cause damage, maybe indirectly, but we can cause damage that will be reflected in a different way, and it seems like it's not our fault, right? Well, it's 100% our fault because of our own imperfections, and that we do not even see. There are a lot of things that we've turned a blind eye to because we benefit a lot from these things existing. I want you to ask yourself this question. If a person that you really love did something completely evil, and you were a cop, will you turn them in? Someone you truly love, like someone that you believe that you can't live without in this world. I don't know if it's your child, I don't know if it's your best friend, I don't know if it's your mother, I don't know if it's your husband, your wife, or just the person that you just like. Will you turn them in? You're a cop. Your job is to arrest criminals. You've seen this person commit a crime, you think they can get away with it, so will you protect them? Would you not even protect them, but just say nothing while you're arresting other people because you don't care about them? The reason why I'm asking you this question, I'm trying to show you that you're a hypocrite as a human, and you don't even see that. And how would you feel if you had to arrest someone who committed the same crime that your husband committed, your wife committed? Would you even feel justified? Would you really feel like a good person, like you are doing something good? Or that will also show you that life is flawed, right? Life itself is wrong. Life is built upon evil. We are biased, selfish. We see faults in other people but don't see our own faults. We refuse to take accountability. We think we're angels while we see others as demons. We blame people for doing things that we would have done. Sometimes we blame people for doing things that are less horrible than what we have done, or that we would have done in that situation. So the whole thing is built on a lie, and lies themselves are what's creating evil. It's where evil comes from, basically. It's lies, it's lack of truth, lack of intellectual honesty. If I'm causing harm and I'm seeing that I'm causing harm, and I tell myself that I'm not causing harm, or I'm causing harm, but this is what I'm going to benefit from causing harm, so because of that, then I'm not really causing harm. You see, I'm a bit delusional, but that's evil. That's where evil comes from. If I'm going to look at a situation and be like, I am really causing harm, that is actually true. That's factual. Then do I continue to cause harm if I see that that's what I'm doing, regardless of what I can benefit in the end? A lot of us do cause harm, and we tell ourselves that we're not causing harm because of the benefits that we're getting. Then we blame those who cause harm in ways that are apparent to everyone, for the same reasons why we cause harm. We blame them. We want to throw stones at them as if we are not sinners ourselves. You see? Like, we don't even understand how our own minds work. So the whole thing is just wrong. See, if we were to build a society that's totally based on truth, I don't know, like, the whole thing will collapse. It's not truth that's running life. It's not truth that's actually running life. It's lies. There's a reason why the most integrous people that you'll ever meet, they cannot perform the way that they could perform if they were not. Like, you meet these people and you're like, you're supposed to be very far. Look at this person. This person is a liar, and they are winning. You're like, yeah, of course. Because if you expose the truth, the life itself will fight back. The matrix itself will fight back. Because it's not built, like you are basically destroying life when you speak the truth. People don't even realize, like if listen, there's levels to honesty. If you went, I can go deeper, but that's the problem. Then I'll be going against the matrix itself. I'll be going against life itself, literally. So there have to be these lies that we tell ourselves. Maybe being biased, having double standards, it's good for this, right? For this life itself. A lot of people think they want truth, but really what they want is what works. That's it, not the truth. Speak the truth, you'll see how people will react. In situations where it seems like truth will bring real solution, actually speak the truth. I'm not talking about what seems to be true. No, actually speak the truth. You will see how people, like everyone will be shocked. People will think you have issues, right? People will think you need help just because you said something truthful. People don't speak truth in family gatherings, like real truth. I'm not talking about something that's coming from a place of hatred. I'm not talking about you trying to say something because of you have your own agendas. I'm talking about you actually speaking the real truth. If there's a problem in your family, you come on and just speak the deepest truth, the rawest truth. Everyone will be shocked. Why? Because the whole thing is built upon evil. It's built upon lies. You know, everything that's associated with evil. The lies, manipulation, lack of freedom, lack of free will, all these things are the building blocks of life itself. Because it's not fair. Life itself is not fair. But we kind of act like it is. We've seen tragic things happening. Things that will make you question everything. When you go deep enough, you realize that no one is actually good. But that's what's crazy. I was having a conversation with this girl. I was looking at the kind of men she dates. I was like, you date high profile men, very successful men, men with power. Do you know that women who talk badly about you because of that? Because she chose a regular guy who seemed to love her. You see, the guys that you're dating, these people think they don't love you. You know, you just want money, so they're blaming you. But here's the thing. If those women that are blaming you were as beautiful as you are, they will be dating the same guys. We are hypocrites. Ever wondered why, even like if you see some guy that you think is, like you don't think is a high value man, you see him with a very beautiful woman, you're not even going to think that's his woman. It's not even allowed. Like it's an unspoken rule in our society. Like it's not even allowed. Like it's not supposed to happen. Like no, you expect to see that woman with a high value man. Like that's how you look at it. That's what will feel right. The whole world will start to bully that couple if they dated and the guy was not a high value. Let's say this woman is a 10. The guy is like a 4. It's just, some will just think she just wants money and all. You know what I'm saying? What does that actually tell you? And the women who are not 10s, They also won't believe that she genuinely loves him. Because, well, it doesn't exist in this realm. But it will be easy for these women to blame that woman who's with high-profile men. As if it will make sense if she dated someone that they don't consider to be a high-value man. I remember I went on to say, you know, there are women on social media, and this will need you to open your eyes a little bit. There are women on social media who will maybe hate on women who show a little bit of skin. I'm not good. It's not that I agree they should do that or not, whatever. I think people should live their lives the way that they want to live their lives, man. Without us trying to be too damn judgmental, looking at ourselves as if we're good people. You see? This ringtone, it's Conor McGregor's. So YouTube is gonna be like, YouTube is gonna give me copyright problems because this is my ringtone, right? Speaking of Conor McGregor, and this is a weird coincidence actually. When I woke up today, I came across a post on Facebook about him sending a naked picture to this girl, and she just exposed them. Just crazy. It's like, why would you do that? Like, you are famous, you have a family, you have children. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta make sure that your wife is respected. Like, when you treat her like that, it's pure, it's madness, bro. I'm judging. I'm doing exactly what I said we mustn't do. But yeah, it's weird that Conor will do that. Anyway, yeah, some women will show a little bit of skin, and there will be women who will be complaining, she's doing this, blah, 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 blah. But you find that if they were as confident as she is, or they felt the way that she felt, they will do the same. You find that it's her just feeling like she loves how she looks so much that she wants to. What I'm trying to make you see something that is very hard to see about humanity. Something that's very hard because we like judging others so damn much that it shows how limited we are. The whole thing should be about understanding other people. Because they exist and they're part of life too. So I must understand them. I must understand, why are you showing your skin while this woman feels uncomfortable doing that? And why should she judge you just because she's uncomfortable doing that? If there are some people who are comfortable seeing you like that and they want you, they like it. You're at a beach, you're wearing those things that they wear, and you feel beautiful and you love it, and you don't see anything wrong with that. But then there's this Christian lady that will be judging you. Is she good? Is she better than you? Or she's just not seeing everything. She's choosing to see things in only one way. Or she's trying to recruit you, right? She's trying to make you live in her world, because in her world, that's where saints live. So she wants you to be a saint, and that's how it seems to her, that she's basically saving you. But you might find out that that kind of life doesn't make you happy. There's this girl that I want to debate one day. She's a South African TikToker. She's very much against women who enjoy expressing themselves in ways that we might consider to be bad as a society because we've been told to think like that. I remember I was having a conversation with a friend about something like this. I was like, you know, before white people came to South Africa, women loved dressing the way that we would say is bad, right? Like, some of them would not even wear like anything. Like in South Africa, it's actually normal. Like Zulu tribe, I think even the Xhosas, they don't wear. Like there was a time when they didn't even wear they didn't cover their breasts at all. Venda tribe, it's a tribe very close to, like, even when I was growing up, we would see, like, our parents wouldn't cover their breasts. Even it was like no one. And let me tell you what's weird. We didn't view breasts as something that has to do with sex, right? It's like you'd see a woman and she's not wearing anything here, and you don't like, no sexual thoughts come into your mind. That was actually crazy. But as we got to know that, oh, people cover their breasts, it's the cover, and you're like, huh, really? And then now you view breast as something that has to do with sex. It's a weird thing. But the point that I'm trying to make is that our judgments do not come from place of truth. It's how we've been programmed to view the world, how we've been programmed to view life. And we create our own truth from how we've been programmed to view life. If I'm told that I shouldn't show maybe I shouldn't show my muscle, right? That's bad. If other people see me and I'm showing my muscles, then I'm bad, right? I'm doing something wrong. I must be judged. I'm a sinner. So that woman that I'm telling you about, she's judging every woman who wants to express herself the way that in ways that she's uncomfortable expressing themselves, and she sees herself as a good person, right? Like, I'm a good person. So some people call her the pick-me type of girl. Like, she's like, I'm better than this woman. I'm better than that woman who goes to the club and dance, or who goes to the club and then come out with a rich guy. I'm better than her because me, I'm not doing any of that, so that makes me better. But no, it doesn't necessarily make you better. In fact, you judging her is actually not making you good. It's like she's not doing anything that really affects your life in a negative way. She's just being herself. I'm trying to show you the reason why I'm using these different examples, and these are not easy examples to even talk about. Very difficult, because I know people have their own way of viewing things when it comes to morality. I'm using these radical examples to show you that we are all flawed in some ways. It's that we don't see our own imperfections. This is what I'm trying to reveal to you. Like, we are so imperfect, but we don't see our imperfections. We see what I would consider easy imperfections in others, and even if it's not even imperfections, really. We are weird. There are a lot of evil things that we do that we refuse to see. And just the same way that people in that episode reacted is how we actually react when there's these evil things that we're doing that we refuse to see that these things are evil. When we're doing these things, even when people try to expose the truth, try to show us that, what you're doing is evil, we don't see that. We hate them actually for making us see the truth. We blame them in some ways. Our reaction is not even us not understanding them. Sometimes it's hatred that we develop from seeing the truth about what we're doing, about how we're contributing in a negative way too. Because we want to see ourselves as good people. Like, if a pastor who thinks he's good and he's going to heaven, if you really spoke to him about how Christianity was spread in Africa and all the flaws in the Bible, how that affects our psychology, how that makes us too damn judgmental, and how that can also cause suffering. If you expose that to them, that pastor is not going to like you, because he sees himself as the good guy. That if everyone was a Christian, then the world would be good. But there will be a lot of suffering in the world if everyone was a Christian. So it seems to me that our double standards only exist because everything about life is actually built upon evil. So there will always be double standards. Existence is weird, guys. But let's keep on figuring out what is more true. Let's keep on figuring out how to think honestly. I think that does something. I think when we learn to see through the illusion, maybe things do change in our reality too. So we must try to not be judgmental, to try to understand everyone, even the worst people. We try to understand them, see the evil things that we're doing, see the evil things that are happening, see what's causing these evil things to be happening, and that's when we'll evolve. Thank you for watching until the end. Like the video, comment, tell me what you think, share the video. Thank you. A locust jumped in my shirt because we're destroying the environment. As humans, we are against natural disasters, right? Imagine that's how they feel. This reminds me of a post that I saw on Facebook. They posted a bird that found it's like someone cut the tree where there was its nest, and they said, imagine going back home and finding out that your home is gone. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that there are lots of evils that happen in this realm that we don't even acknowledge that are evil. Like, how many people are even able to recognize that is evil, right? So that shows you that everything about this world is built upon evil, and most of us are not conscious enough to see that. Yeah, I've had to add that part. Thank you all, guys.